Hey everyone, welcome back to another installment of the fourth quarter pod's 7 minutes or less segment. We've got some juicy content for you, but before we get into it, Jake, how you doing? How's your week?
Good, thanks, Luca. Hope you're well. Looking forward to another segment of 7 minutes or less. We've got a really good topic this week, something that's been on the hearts and minds of a lot of NBA followers out there, and especially Phoenix Suns fans. So I know you've got a lot to say about this, and we want to keep it as brief as possible with that 7 minutes or less tagline. But Luca, tell me about Deandre Ayton and the contract situation in Phoenix.
All right, so according to Deandre Ayton's, or I guess according to Adrian Wojnarowski, the Woj bomb, Ayton is eligible to sign his 5-year, $172.5 million extension that could reach $207 million. And that is in the same tier as Luka Doncic, Trae Young, and other max extension candidates from the 2018 draft class. However, Suns ownership believes that Ayton doesn't belong in the same tier as those players. So where the contention here is that Ayton doesn't plan to sign for anything less because of his performance, his potential, and the marketplace. So I'm going to unpack that really quickly and then I'm going to throw it over to you and get your thoughts. But this is my take on this situation. You've got an organization that for years played a team where the only real star caliber player that they had was Devin Booker. We all know how that went. It didn't go very well. They were continually at the bottom of, the Western Conference, never made a playoffs, and were always drafting in the lottery. And then came along DeAndre Ayton, bolstered that up a little bit, had his issues with the drug issue, was suspended, still didn't perform, but they could see, where the organization was heading with some sort of, dynamic duo between the two. And then obviously Chris Paul coming in, some good foundational pieces around, created a finals performance team. Now, where I have a problem with this is that I do agree that Ayton doesn't belong in the same tier as those players that we just mentioned, namely Doncic and Trae Young. But the key part of his quote that I completely agree with is the marketplace. And what I mean by that is money is as readily available in the NBA as ever. And, the bag is being thrown around. And what the problem that I have with the Suns not wanting to give Ayton that extension is the fact that they just fleshed out a 4-year, $120 million contract on a 36-year-old Chris Paul. And when you consider that, I think only 2 years of that contract is guaranteed. But anyway, you've thrown all this money at an aging player, and now you've got the potential issue of Ayton not signing or going elsewhere because someone might give him not that rookie extension max, but just give him a max. And so then you've got this issue where you're back to square one with just Devin Booker. And I know for sure that team isn't going to do anything. What's your takes?
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you think he should be signed to the full max. Is that correct?
I think so. It goes back to the marketplace. His performance, maybe not. His potential, I can see it. The marketplace, definitely.
Very well reasoned. And let me start off by saying if DeAndre Ayton signs for the max, I won't be surprised. So if it does happen, I won't be like, oh, wow, I can't believe that happened. But let me say this. I don't want DeAndre Ayton to become a cautionary tale like some other players in the NBA. What I mean by that is DeAndre Ayton's playoff performance reminds me, in terms of player value, of a guy like Jimmy Butler when the Miami Heat made the finals. And what I mean by that is Jimmy Butler's value couldn't be any higher in the moment that he was in the finals. He won a finals game and was performing to the best of his capability. Obviously, it's a bit different in the sense of the financials that Jimmy Butler had already signed a 4-year max deal and got his money and earned his place and his keep in the NBA. But what I'm trying to say is I could see a version of the Phoenix Suns where a key player goes down for 50 games. DeAndre Ayton's expected to expand his game even further, do a few more things offensively in the post, stretch out and hit a three, become that versatile big that was part of the reason why Phoenix drafted him over Luka Doncic, over Trae Young, guys like that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is 4 years, 172 is the max deal that DeAndre Ayton, beg your pardon, can sign right now, based on the fact that he's eligible for 25% of the cap. He's not eligible for 30% like Luka Doncic, Trae Young, because he hasn't made an All NBA team. So if he made an All NBA team, he could be eligible for 4 or 5 years at $207 million. I compare his value to guys like Miles Turner and Clint Capella. Now, we can have a conversation about who's better. If you told me DeAndre Ayton is the cherry on top of all those players, I wouldn't agree nor disagree. I find DeAndre Ayton's value around a Clint Capella, which is under $20 million. Now, I'm not saying he's worth under $20 million, but the thing that I'm trying to say here is I can see why Phoenix are hesitant. Your point about them toiling away for the last decade doing absolutely nothing is a very good one, and I understand that. The Chris Paul thing as well, I agree with you. But I do like the fact that Phoenix aren't just bowing to him because, one, he's restricted. So if another team comes out of the woodwork and offers him that kind of money, Phoenix can match it. I get the fact that that's probably not good because that'll just kill the relationship. But yeah, I like the fact that Phoenix are trying to be a bit more financially savvy with what they do. Again, you mentioned Chris Paul is pretty old, but
Yeah.
the 2-year guarantee thing is nice. So the way I see it happening, a bit more pushing, a bit more shoving. They'll probably offer him the max or very close to. My personal opinion, 4 for 150 is probably good for him and for them. I still consider that, just on value, a little bit over. But I do understand why Ayton feels like this. But I would also caution him by saying, your value is probably as high as it'll ever be. I know you're young, but you had an amazing season. Take what you can now, swallow your pride to an extent, and continue this path with Devin Booker, Michael Bridges, and Chris Paul for the next couple of years.
That's such a good point. And staying true, we're staying under 7 minutes here, so I'm not going to be able to talk back on any of those comments, but I do like a lot of what you said. So we're going to leave it there. Thanks for the insight there, Jake. I'm just going to call out that I am wearing a LeBron merch right there. If you can see the little King James logo.
What is it? I can't see
says
it.
Toon Squad, and it's got the
Toon Squad. Wow.
and it's got the little LeBron logo. So I am
Holy hell.
moving over to some LeBron merch, which is a
never
first.
thought I'd see the day. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. Crazy, huh?
Good stuff.
We'll leave you guys there. Thank you so much for whoever tuned in. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to getting your thoughts on this topic as we get it on the socials.